Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Guys, I'm going to touch up on a story that we covered earlier this week. I think it was 2 days ago, about this woman right here. Kimberly Sullivan, age 56, from Waterbury, Connecticut. Shout out Waterbury. This woman right here, a.k.a. the evil stepmom from hell, is the woman that's responsible for keeping a 32-year-old man captive for 20 years in his room in the house, in her house. Now, when I first did this story, I was trying to figure out, when the father died, because she's the stepmom. Father died last year. So he was in confinement when the father was alive. Now, the father was wheelchair bound, don't know his situation. But either way, they're saying now that the abuse of this guy started when he was 3 years old. I don't know what made people so tone deaf on the level of treating other human beings like trash, but it's a common occurrence and it's growing out here. Under no condition do I condone anybody treating somebody less than, especially a child. This woman right here got a lawyer, and she's sitting up here and she's saying that she's only following the instructions that her father, the father of this young man, well, he's older now, this guy had left for her after his death. That's the thing. We went over this in the first video about how she's lying and saying all this other stuff, but this right here is true evil, and you'll see it. Today I'm going to show you the video of them rescuing this guy from the house, actual police video, and I want you to watch her and watch what's in her hand. See, a lot of people, man, I think honestly, this whole situation, the reason why this guy was barely kept alive, she has some type of insurance benefit from this. And I think when you look at this reaction of her with the fire, she thought that she was going to be able to cash in on some type of insurance money. And she didn't think the tables would turn the way they are right now. This is a truly sick story that we covered, but there's more to it, especially with his recovery. Look.
And we begin at 11 with exclusive video and calls for help from the night a horrific case of abuse was uncovered in Waterbury. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Stephanie Simone. Firefighters are seen carrying a man to safety after he pulled off a daring escape. Your reporter Bryant Reed is live outside of the home tonight with those details. Bryant.
Stephanie, what you're about to see are the frantic moments that played out at this home behind me right here on Blake Street just last month. This is where a man says that he intentionally set fire to the house to be rescued in order to escape captivity and on the brink of starvation.
Please hurry. It's 2 Blake Street. There's a fire. Okay. Oh, my God. There's a fire. I'm trying to...
Frantic moments from Kimberly Sullivan on the phone with 911 as her home catches flames.
My son, stepson is in his room, and I don't know, he did something with the TV. I was sleeping. I fell asleep.
Woken up by the fire, her stepson started using printing paper and hand sanitizer. He's also her alleged victim. Police say Sullivan kept him locked away in a room under horrific conditions for 20 years with little food and water. On the 911 call, Sullivan says her stepson is injured. And when first responders arrive, she tells them he's still inside.
Who else is in here?
My stepson is in here.
How many other people?
Police escort her away from the scene as we see her stepson, blurred in the video, being carried out of the home, his body frail and limp.
Got one victim right here.
And put in the back of an ambulance. A Waterbury detective spoke with the CT Insider on this anomaly of a case and just how bad the victim's condition was.
As bad as the victim looked in that interview, seeing him in person it felt 10 times as worse. I don't want to really put a number on it, but it took everybody off guard.
Detective Stephen Brownell says the victim thanked first responders repeatedly for saving his life.
He's recovering. He's slowly recovering, but recovering nonetheless.
And as to that recovery, the Waterbury detective says that the victim is aware and he is able to follow along with conversations. However, he also says that the victim could be suffering from some cognitive issues that may well persist into the future. The reporter in Waterbury tonight, Brian Freed, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
This investigation is revealing some troubling details of suffering. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the psychological toll this type of torture can have and how the community is now rallying around the victim. NBC Connecticut's Melissa Cooney has been on this story from the beginning. She's live in Waterbury tonight with more. Melissa.
That's right. As of now, tens of thousands of dollars have poured in to support this alleged victim who says his stepmother held him captive in his own home for 20 years. Now, experts say, generally speaking, anyone who has gone through this type of trauma would have a long road ahead for recovery.
This is probably the worst case I've ever seen in my lifetime.
The victim told police his living conditions had been so bad for decades, he took to setting his home on fire to escape. Some of those conditions described in the warrant include being locked in a 9 by 8 foot room all day, every day, with no heat or AC, no showering, and being supplied minimal food and water. The warrant says his malnourishment was life-threatening.
Somebody in that position is going to need medical, dental. He hasn't had an education since the 4th grade, so educational, therapy, trauma therapy, and it just goes along with anything significant medical he's facing.
Amanda Nardozzi of Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury says the fundraiser they're running is monetary at this time to make the most impact on any rehabilitative, medical, legal, and dental services the victim may need. Dr. Javid Sukera, a psychiatrist at Hartford Hospital, says it's important to create a village of support around someone who's been through something like this.
Having the right professionals and a team of individuals that can help support an individual to reintegrate.
The warrant alleges the abuse started at age 3 until now, age 32.
But oftentimes there are dynamics within families that abuse begins to elicit that actually enables that abuse to happen.
The warrant says the stepson has undergone medical treatment and examination, but organizations like Safe Haven say he likely has a long way to go. Sakara says with the right help, healing is possible.
Human beings really are wired to survive and be resilient.
And domestic violence can take many shapes. For resources related to domestic violence and help, you can check out our website, nbcconnecticut.com. We're live in Waterbury. Melissa Cooney, NBC Connecticut News.
Did you guys catch it in that rescue video? They brought the man out, right? Rescued him, got him out. First thing on him, oh, my son is in there. He was in that room. Something was wrong with his TV or something. Trying to set it up already. You know what I'm saying? Know what's funny? If you also paid attention, couldn't unlock them doors to get him out of there, but you had that damn dog. You had that dog in your hand. Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. If anything, she need the Joan of Arc right now. I keep calling him a boy because, you know what I'm saying, his mindset is that of a child because he was in the room. Listen, 32 years old, he lost his whole education, and he was basically put on a shelf and stuck frozen in time. Said he had matted hair and rotten teeth. That's not taking care of somebody. 2 glasses of water a day, barely surviving, forced to shit and piss in plastic jars and containers. Hell no, that ain't living. That's not living. You know, a human being needs food, clothing, shelter, right? Socialization. And he wasn't getting none of that shit. Well, he was getting some of it, but I mean, it was limited. They're saying the long-lasting cognitive effects of what he went through may be permanent. And you sitting up there with a defense lawyer saying, oh, he could have came out the room anytime he could. And you're sitting there letting that go. That's crazy. It makes no sense how human beings treat each other. How do you look at somebody and look at them like they're not human and they look like you? Like you have a history with this child. Said the abuse started when he was 3 years old. We see a lot with these abuse cases where the children are just treated like nothing, and it just continues and continues to either they're dead or they find some way to escape. This guy had to set his room on fire, his jail cell, like a prisoner in the pen to escape, almost risking his own life. That lets you know, man, freedom is everything. And as she in there looking dumb, they gave her bond. She bonded out. Listen, there's another news story I ain't even show where the family on his side called CPS multiple times because when he was little, they had him locked in a closet. With the visitors there, he was locked in a closet. And CPS did nothing. You want to disband the Department of Education and all this other stuff? They need to disband this CPS shit because it seems for some reason they always failing kids and kids is dying. Create a new type of organization or something. Or give them more power. This is craziness. It's crazy. 32 years old, rotten teeth, matted hair, man, it's like he like a savage now. He gonna have to be taught so many different things. Detective said seeing him in the interview was different than seeing him up close. It take you to a whole nother level. I bet it does. She ain't missed no meals and needed that stupid ass dog she had in her hand. You treated a dog better than your stepson, and you knew coming up that, you know what I'm saying, you wasn't treating him right. Even after his dad died, you still kept the shit going. But you saying, oh, I did what the dad said. You know that shit wasn't right. Get the fuck out of here. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't respect nobody that do that type of shit. Kids don't ask to be where they at. But they are where they are. And least you could do is show them some human decency. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.